So the GOP recently revealed their replacement to the Affordable Care Act, and ultimately what this shitty new bill would do is lead to less people being insured, and those lucky enough to remain insured would face rising healthcare premiums each month. So this is a horrible plan, and even some Republicans have come out against it. Now, knowing that this plan would ultimately lead to an increase in the price of healthcare premiums, well, Representative Jason Chaffetz had some solutions for us peasants as to how we can deal with these new costs.
Americans have choices, and they've got to make a choice. And so maybe rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest in their own health care.
What the hell did you just say?
So that was by far one of the dumbest, yet simultaneously condescending things I think I've ever heard a politician say. I find this absurd, particularly for two reasons. So first of all, he's comparing the price of healthcare to an iPhone. Those are not the same price. An iPhone costs $200 if you renew your contract, and if you buy one out of contract, it's like $800. Healthcare costs thousands of dollars every single year, and that price is going up for most people. So to compare those two things, that makes no sense. That is a false equivalency, and you're really dim-witted for suggesting that we have a problem paying for health insurance. I have no problem paying more in taxes if we're going to have a better healthcare system. If we have a Medicare for All system, I have no problem paying $100, $200, $300 more per month in taxes because I know that all Americans, the homeless, the poor, will be covered. But what I do have a problem with is getting ripped off by health insurance companies who only care about their profits and not providing healthcare to us. That's what the issue is about. Now, the second reason why I find this really absurd is because what he's really implying here is, how dare us peasants do anything to make ourselves happy? I mean, if you're a peasant, if you're complaining about the cost of healthcare, well, shut the fuck up. Unless you're willing to sell your car, sell your house, sell your TV, sell your Xbox, then how dare you complain about the rising cost of healthcare? Don't you know that you're supposed to be miserable and live as frugally as possible because these Republicans don't want to do anything about the cost of healthcare being so high? That's what he's saying effectively, and it's so frustrating to me. I find it so condescending for someone in this position, someone of power, to talk down on us peasants as though we're too dumb to do our own budgets. No, what we're saying, Jason, is that we're not going to be ripped off anymore. We want you to do something like Canada does for their citizens when they get ripped off. We want you to negotiate with the pharmaceutical industry so that way you could bring down the cost of prescription drugs. We don't want the cost of our insurance premiums to go up every single year. And furthermore, since we're paying more, maybe we just want better coverage because we're paying each month and not everything is covered. In your new healthcare bill, you literally removed the federal mandate that health insurance companies have to cover hospitalization. Some of the basic things are now being stripped away from our already shitty healthcare plans, and you're talking down to us about it.
You are really dumb, for real.
Now, after receiving a ton of backlash for obvious reasons, because this comment is just outrageous, he is now trying to walk back this comment, but it's too late. He's already been exposed as a gigantic hypocrite. So first of all, it's easy for him to tell us not to worry about healthcare because his healthcare is paid for by the federal government. And even if that wasn't the case, he has hundreds of thousands of dollars in his bank account, so he would be able to afford whatever healthcare plan you could imagine. Now, second of all, the underlying implication here is that people need to take responsibility for themselves. But if that's the case, then Jason needs to take his own advice, because according to FEC filings, not only are his donors paying for his campaign's Verizon bills to the tune of $400 to $500 each month, but either him or one of his staffers spent more than $700 at an Apple store in Salt Lake City using donor funds. And do you want to guess what he purchased? A brand new iPhone 6s, and of course a case, because you've got to have a case with it. So this guy, he's done this numerous times now. Donors have paid for his phone bill. They've paid for $11,000 in an Apple store prior to this in previous years, according to FEC filings. And now he's saying, you need to take responsibility for yourself. Pay for your bills, and, be responsible, be more frugal. Don't buy that new iPhone if you can't afford it, when he is allowing his donors to pay for it. So this rich asshole has free health insurance provided to him by the federal government, who he lambasts all the time, and he also has his iPhone and its bills bought and paid for by his campaign donors, and yet he has the audacity to say this.
Rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest it in their own healthcare.
So I have a message for this rich elitist prick. Don't you ever talk down to poor people ever again. Because the poor people who you like to judge and look down upon, well, they're going to work every single day, working harder than you, working more hours than you, busting their asses to fund your salary. Their tax dollars are going in your wallet. And you have the gall to look down upon them and judge them. Don't you dare wag your finger at them. So go fuck yourself, Jason. You are a rich snob, and you deserve every bit of criticism you are receiving for making this idiotic comment.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.